the way to the friend, it realized something was off. There was this weird feeling. This kind of smell. Dark aura. This uncanny feeling. That was everywhere. And of course, there were people that seemed like they had turned to stone just recently. The little dog was worried about its friend and started to hurry. It knew the way by heart and knew that it was almost there. As it finally arrived at the house of its friend, the friend was nowhere to be seen. Instead, there was a letter with a single word on it. Help! The dog was as brave as it was little, and so it started its journey to find and rescue its friend. On the way, the dog noticed the petrified humans once again, but there was more this time. There was a weird crystal made out of dark energy right next to them. The little dog didn't have to think twice, it simply danced through the energy crystal and lifted the curse from the humans. The humans were overjoyed and were dancing and singing as the curse was lifted. The humans thanked the little dog and said all sorts of things. But the dog did not understand a word as he did not speak human. Finally, someone seemed to understand the situation and pointed in the direction of a cave. He shouted, "Witch!" Which of course the dog didn't understand, but at least he knew where to go next. The dog continued its journey and looked for the dark cave. The cave was even darker and scarier than the little dog had expected. Taking a deep breath, the little dog summoned all his bravery and stepped cautiously into the cave. The cool air inside made his fur stand on end, and the sound of his little paws echoed against the rocky walls. The darkness enveloped him like a soft blanket, and he squinted, trying to make out anything in the pitch-black surroundings. As the little dog ventured deeper into the cave, its heart thumped louder in his chest. His ears perked up, listening for any sign of his friend's playful yips or gentle rustling. But all he heard were the distant drips of water echoing through the cavern. And very far away, he also heard something that sounded like it was raining. But the rain was falling unusually slow. The further the dog walked into the cave, the colder it became. "Fox? Are you here?" The little dog called out, his voice trembling slightly. The cave seemed to swallow his words, leaving only an eerie silence in response. The little dog's worry grew with each passing moment, but he pushed forward, fueled by his determination to find his friend. And then suddenly, he saw a light at the end of the tunnel. His mom had warned him to never walk toward the end of the tunnel. But he really did not have another choice. His friend needed his help. The little dog took a deep breath and followed his intuition toward the surprisingly cold light. The little dog stepped into the cold bright light and realized that it had made it through the cave to the other side of the mountain. The other side was a lot different from the home of the little dog. It was cold. Snow was everywhere. In fact, It was so cold that the little dog's warm breath formed frosty clouds in the frigid air as he continued his way through the frozen land. And then it happened. Through the ice-cold air of the frozen heights, the little dog picked up a smell. But it wasn't any smell, it was a warm, soft, and comfortable smell that the little dog knew just too good. It was the smell of his best friend, the fox. This gave the little dog hope. After all this walking, he finally knew that he was on the right track, and he was sure that he would eventually be able to find his lost friend. But there was something more. Another smell. Much stickier and somewhat weird. Like the smell of a person who would regularly drink a mixture of frog legs, dragon's herb, and reptile skins. It was a strong smell, and the little dog suspected that the person emitting the smell didn't take a shower for quite some time. The little dog knew about the sensitive nose of his friend. And the thought was terrible, his best friend, the fox, all alone with a person smelling so terribly. No wonder he left a rescue note. The little dog was certain. He could not stop here. He had to move forward and rescue his friend. The little dog followed the smell until it finally led the little dog to an unknown valley. The time had passed and the sun was long gone. It was midnight. The moon was shining brightly over the valley. And in the shadows of the night, a couple of small ghosts had come out of their hiding. They saw the little dog and asked curiously what he was doing at a place like this. Gladly, the little dog didn't believe in ghosts and therefore was not scared in the slightest. The little dog explained the situation and was impressed about the almost accept-free barking the ghosts were able to do. The ghosts thought for a while and then remembered that they actually had seen a fox around here. But the fox was trapped and the evil witch was carrying it over her shoulder. They were not sure where she wanted to bring the fox. But what most witches do is bring animals into their own realm and then slowly turn them into their mindless slaves. The little dog shrugged. It didn't know what a witch was as it never encountered one so far. But it did know that trapped did not sound nice and mindless slave did not sound like his best friend at all. And therefore it did definitely sound like a situation in which one might need rescue. After a long and exhausting walk through the Midnight Valley, the little dog finally reached the realm of the witch. It was a grotesque place. Filled with all kinds of weird things. Everything looks dangerous and intimidating. But then there was also a huge amount of giant bones lying around which the little dog would have loved to chew on if it wasn't in such a hurry to rescue his friend. The little dog wondered how bad the witch could really be if she had such an impressive collection of bones. By far bigger than his own collection at home. The little dog got rid of that thought as there were more important things to take care of. It could smell the soft scent of the fox very well now. The little dog knew that it was close. And that it could only be a matter of minutes before he would catch up to his kidnapped friend. The little dog had played out the scenario in his head several times. It knew to rescue its friend there would only be one thing it could do. It decided that as soon as it saw the witch it would dash into her, and then the little dog and his friend could run away while the witch was confused and didn't know what was going on. And then the little dog saw the witch.